when it comes to the cities you guys have on your website here, I was just looking at some of them. You've got Rancho Cordova, California, Youngstown, Ohio. I'm just like kind of reading them as they're scrolling across. Akron, Ohio. How did you guys form those partnerships, or what experience, I guess, do you have in building those partnerships with cities? And it even send, from Poland, seems like it's just U.S. based. It can be anywhere in the world, any city in the world that could maybe plug in and use this. Do you guys have a specific team that's building out the kind of research of, what cities to add in, or how do you guys go about that?
Great question. So with the cities that you mentioned in the United States, so we work with a bunch of different cities here in the U.S. Here, based in New York, so I'm saying here. The U.S. model is a stable coin model, but it's not blockchain based. It's under the Colu brand. Now, Urban Change was incubated by the team in Colu. It uses a lot of the lessons learned, the same operating procedures and things that we've learned from Colu. Urban Change is fully decentralized, right? And so the model in Poland and in Brazil, and now that we're working on in Tulum in Mexico, those are all under the Urban Change. The US cities, to your point, that was actually a way for us to learn and to understand how this concept of incentives can work, while making sure that from the short-term perspective, we always talk about, how do you actually maintain a business model that works at each phase, right? So the sort of quote unquote Web 2 version within the United States was a great way because, it's a way for us to learn, gain a lot of understanding about how to work with governments, how to integrate technologies, how to implement them, and then create a model that can be sustainable over time. Use those lessons later on and then apply them into the blockchain, where there are a lot more, the technology enables much more, it makes it much easier, let's just say this, for other types of organizations. It reduces the barrier to entry because cities have to pay a lot of money for this type of program, relatively speaking, whereas from the blockchain perspective, it's much cheaper. And so it's much easier for any community leader who says, you know what, hey, I want to start my community. I'm a community leader in my neighborhood. I can just, let me find a small budget that I have and incorporate it into the program. So the US it's a great way for us to experience impact today, as much as we can, but on the other hand, also take those lessons learned and apply them into the Urban Change ecosystem.
So it makes me think, I remember when Mayor Suarez out in Miami was doing Miami coin, and they did a New York coin. So has nothing to do with Urban Chains or Colo, right?
Yeah, exactly. That has nothing to do with us.
So then,
right.
So then I have a kind of follow-up question then with the cities. Obviously the Algorand community, right? I mean, it's not a city, right? The Algorand, people are all across the world, but with the decentralized aspect of it, if you could give us a brief walkthrough of like, hey, if me for the next block, or say, Michael Jordan, a big, proponent for the Algorand community, wanted to create a challenge or something, what would they have to do, step by step, to really fulfill that, goal with Urban Change, with your all's app?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's say I'm a community leader. I could be based pretty much anywhere, and I want to start my own community. So I would go to the Urban Change website. I would click on Start a Community, and I would basically follow very simple steps. And happy to share the link with you all in the show notes to add. And I would follow very simple steps to pretty much get the community open. I would need to, as a community leader, get a wallet, a digital wallet with it could be Wallet or a relatable wallet where I could store algos, and pretty much follow very simple steps to get that community up and running. It really could take maybe 10 to 20 minutes, which is pretty crazy. Once I have that going, then the cool part is you really can customize it. So you can really customize your initiative or challenge, right? You can say, I want to get people to run a certain amount of miles per day, right? So you say, if you run 3 miles for 5 consecutive days, each day 3 miles, not bad, you can then maybe earn, $20, right? So the way it works is that if I, as a user of Michael Jordan's program initiative, let's say he's in Chicago, Michael Jordan, not the real, I know, whatever. Anyway, so let's say we're in Chicago and I need to run 3 miles outside, which makes it even harder, 5 consecutive days. I would basically need to show proof that I completed this action. So with running, it could be fairly simple because you can link it with your phone, or whether you have Android or iOS, you could link it and show that you ran. Once I showed the proof that I did that for 5 consecutive days, then I would get rewarded.